Hello and welcome to Side Character Quest, the show where I'm starting this time. Usually it's the guest. You guys, you listeners, you've gotten used to things. You're resting on your laurels. You guys, you need to get your act together. You can't just go along expecting the same thing, expecting nothing to change, and expecting life to just keep getting better. You've got to be willing to take a new direction. Isn't that right? My guest, Eliane.
No, there's only one direction, but then they broke up.
Oh my gosh. There was a moment when you said no that I thought you were about to say, no, that's not how my name is pronounced. And I was going to feel real bad.
No, you did you did well. You did well.
Excellent. The well-focused listener might be able to catch last episode when I was about to say your name and then panicked that maybe I was going to pronounce it wrong and then just left a pregnant pause, counting on you to fill in. And you did. You did a great job. I very much appreciate it. I also very much appreciate this cactus polo that you're wearing. Real cool.
Thank you.
In fact, one moment. All right. So, listener, for your oh gosh, my headphones just did something weird. Listener, for your benefit, I am changing shirts right now. And I am changing into a shirt that is covered with. Take a look at this.
Yes, listener, take a look at this.
Take a look at this,
listener.
It's
blurry.
Oh, it's so blurry. All right, so
it's so blurry. Just describe it.
They are red diamonds, red hearts, black clubs, and black spades. It's just covered with the houses of cards. It's a very good shirt.
Listeners, I want you to know, I am currently only seeing a shoulder.
I don't have the best webcam game out there. The webcam is not attached to my computer, and thus will just swing wildly around my desk and just start pointing at walls and stuff. So the fact that you could see my shoulder means that things were going. Yeah, I've got a soldier up in here. It's a little toy soldier. We're gonna now start our game of D and Deck the Halls. The game about the Nutcracker with our toy soldiers and our mice, and let's go fight the Rat King. Okay.
Oh, I was just thinking this was going to turn into I Spy.
Hey, that, but also the Nutcracker make a pretty good RPG, right? Like a pretty good, like,
true.
Hey, that would make a pretty good, like, holiday special on.
It would.
Listener, I make no promises, but also keep an eye out. Hey, listener, this is Ty from the future saying, don't keep an eye out. We did not do that. Okay, we're okay.
Oh,
I think that took long enough.
Yeah. What a fun and festive intro.
What a fun and festive intro.
We're both wearing collared shirts.
Talking about Christmas, which I'm sure is right around the corner when this gets released. There's definitely not like 3 other holidays before then. Hey, how about we do a quick recap of what happened on last episode?
All right. Do you want me to tell you, or are you going to tell me? Because
if you think you can do it, then go for it. But if you want me to do it, I'll do it.
I want you to do it.
Listener, it's been a while. It's been a little while. By listener, I'm saying hello. Hey, Jeff. So in the last couple of episodes, we've met Deirdre, a half-orc cleric living in a church, in a cathedral, out in the middle of nowhere, out in red clay hills, rolling red clay, who works by the side of her adoptive, I guess, father slash religious leader, Father Crayon, who has instructed her in the ways of holy warfare for a long time. She has now been escorting a long time kind of family friend kind of dealy named Elberta, who has recently been recovering some mysterious memories, and Deirdre is accompanying this older woman as she tries to reach the wall of the Forgotten Kingdom of Bregatone. So, where we pick up right now. The ride lasted a little bit longer than you expected. Though you traveled along the river to avoid difficult terrain, you ended up running into a fair number of corrupted beasts along your way. Thunderous wolves, liquid serpents, acidic birds of prey. But now you finally approach your destination. All around you are desolate foothills. The red clay of Father's Land is far behind you. In the distance, you can barely see icy peaks wreathed in lightning and an eternal blizzard. This is all that anyone knows of the kingdom of Bregatone. Between you and the peaks is a massive wall, so high as to even dwarf the tower that you call home. And now, tucked away, you can see a nook behind these foothills, carved into...
You got this.
I got this. I got this. And now, tucked away into a nook next to this wall, behind these foothills, these children of mountains, you see a something.
What is it?
You see. Man, I hate reading things. I just want to make up stuff. This is why I don't write any of the descriptions for this. You see a gate. Fucking crazy. You're riding up on your horse. Elberta slows beside you, and she swings down from her steed and begins walking it the rest of the way towards this gate carved into the wall. What do you do?
We're slowing down.
Yeah, you're slowing down. You're walking up towards this little gate.
It's just a gate.
It's like a door. It's like a portcullis, but without the metal grill in it. It's an arc, and you're just walking up to it.
Maybe I'm misremembering what a portcullis is. Isn't that just the metal grate part?
Maybe it is. That's very possible. I always assumed that a portcullis was the whole deal, like the metal grating that came down as well as the hole in the wall. I always assumed that was the whole portcullis, but I could be wrong.
So there's a tunnel with a wooden door. Is it like a swing open wooden door or like a garage door?
So you approach this gate in the wall, and what you see is a stone arc carved into this massive foreboding wall. And this arc is not that much taller than you are. It's not that much wider than a person, maybe 3 or 4 feet across. And the whole arc is wreathed in carvings of vines. And at the top of the arc is a small crest with the head of a boar on it. And yeah, that's all you see is just darkness beyond that gate. Gate might not be the best word, but it's the word I chose. So that's
tunnel?
The word I'm sticking to. Tunnel, maybe a tunnel. Well, the thing is with a tunnel, there has to be like a tunnel beyond the entrance, and you don't know what's beyond the entrance. So maybe it's a tunnel. Maybe it's a TJ Maxx. Maybe it's a Burger King.
This is the beyond part of Bed Bath & Beyond.
Yes, exactly.
I'm trying to figure out if Deirdre would actually say something out loud or not.
Feel free. Feel free to say something that she says quietly to herself.
I mean, are we just standing here, or is Elberta, like, walking towards this thing?
Elberta is standing next to the gate and sort of eyeing the vines with sort of an odd look in her eye.
Odd, like ODD or AWED?
A little both. I meant AWED, but I suppose the other one might also apply.
I feel like I want to roll something.
Go for it. So there's a thing that I played a game with Amber, who listeners will know as the player behind Silas the other day, where Amber was the DM, and they just like when I set up stuff, or when they set up stuff, and then they were waiting for me to do stuff, they would just let me stew until I came up with something to do. So I'm gonna try that sometimes here, where I'm just going to stop talking and like wait for you to do something. I'm gonna go the therapist route of just like, oh.
And how does that make you feel?
How does that make you feel?
Bad.
So yeah, what are you gonna check? What are you gonna do?
I'm trying to figure, like, would it be... I don't trust this door is the thing. I don't trust this thing. So I'm trying to figure out if it would be like perception or investigation or like even an arcana.
Try describing how you are going to check out this door, and then I will tell you what roll would apply. If you don't have one in particular that you want to like aim for.
Well, I mean, I kind of want to do multiple things. Like, do the carving of the vines seem like just regular carvings? Is like, if I pick up like a rock or something and throw it in, does anything happen, or does the rock just like disappear? Like, what?
Okay. I will say for the rock, you can just do that, and for the carvings, you can roll an investigation.
Okay, I'll do the investigation first to check out these sick carvings. What's my investigation? So that'll be a 12.
Okay. For a 12, when you're looking through these vines, these carvings of vines, you see some vague arcane symbols, like written occasionally on the leaves of some of the vines, and you also see little figures of mice carved in among the vines. Just kind of every once in a while, there'll be a little head peeking out of a little figure of a mouse. And that's all you see on there.
Are there any mice around?
Looking around, you do not see any mice chittering about.
Dang, I can't just throw a mouse in there and see what happens.
No. That'd be pretty good. You can throw a rock in there if you'd like.
I would like to throw a rock in there and see what happens.
You reach down next to a small pile that's next to the door, pile of something, and you.
That doesn't seem safe. I can't just take like a river rock or something.
Okay.
From like the road? I'm not reaching into a pile next to this weird door.
Okay. So let
me just reach my hand into this weird pile next to this weird door.
Okay. You reach down next to the door to grab a pebble, and you see like a weird pile of stuff, and so you're like, and you step away from that and grab a rock off a few feet away, and pick it up, and you toss it towards the open gate. And as the rock passes through the gate, it continues on and hits the other side, and you hear it clatter on the stone floor on the other side.
Like it hit something, or it just fell to the ground?
It just fell to the ground.
I do not trust this door.
I can't say that I can't fault your judgment. I mean, I feel as though my memories prior to walking through here those are the ones that I'm having trouble finding. So I understand the distrust. She says, kind of laughing to herself. But well, nothing ventured, I suppose. And she steps through the gate into the shadow that's cast by the sun and the gate itself. And she is in the room, and she turns around to face you and says,
"Come on in. The water's fine."
Well, that could have gone a lot worse. I'm fine, I suppose. And she looks okay. She doesn't look like anything's wrong with her.
Before I go in, I actually do want to check out this weird pile of stuff next to the door. Seeing as this door maybe not maybe not as weird as I thought it was. Maybe this pile of stuff isn't as weird as I thought it was.
Okay. You walk up to this weird pile of crap and you poke around with it. Give me another investigation check.
That's much better. That'll be a 22.
Oh, geez. Okay. Yeah. So you poke around in this, and you immediately, even if you had like made nothing, you notice some falling apart bones and such. Like just the remnants of a skeleton piled up here. You can also, with a 22, recognize a bunch of other little facets, little interesting bits of information about this. One, you see that there is a mostly there's some rusted a rusted weapon of some sort underneath most of the bones. One of the things that was making up a lot of that was sort of obscuring the stuff was dirt, of course, but also rotten leather armor had sort of disguised what was going on here. Just the last little remnants of it. You also have for 22, I'll say you also notice a small pendant in the shape of of that same crest that you see above the door, wrapped around the neck of the guard, I guess, on the ground.
I would like to say a prayer for this skeleton and take the pendant.
Aw, that's very kind. You do whatever I think we decided on some sort of hand symbol. You do whatever motion you do, and then you praise to whatever power you praise, and you grab that pendant. And nothing bad happens.
Amazing.
And then do you walk on in?
Yeah, I walk on in.
Okay, you walk on in and you die. Game over.
Oh no, I shouldn't have taken that pendant.
Oh no! Yeah, no.
Turn to page 3.
That is a joke that I will use every time and then immediately be like, that's a boring joke.
A little bit overplayed.
A little bit overplayed, I suppose. There's only so many times you can do it. So you walk in, and as your eyes adjust, you see that you are in a sort of foyer kind of area with some stairs leading up into into another room above you. And you follow Deirdre up those, you follow Elberta up those stairs and find yourself in a large circular room. And as you look around the room, you notice a few things right away. You notice you notice 3 skeletal forms, one in the center of the room, and then 2 on either side of the room, left and right. You notice across from you a doorway that's glowing, and you notice 2 doorways on either side next to those skeletons that are on the side. And if you want to know more, you can tell me what you go to look at.
These are like regular skeletons, right?
Roll me a perception check.
One of these days.
One of these days.
15.
So it's pretty dark in here. It's pretty dark. But you can tell, looking around the room, that the skeleton on your left is mostly collapsed. It's mostly just like a similar like pile of bones. The skeleton in the center of the room, and I should say the skeleton on the left looks like it has some armor that's and weaponry next to it that's similar to what you saw in the pile outside. The one on the right is wearing that same sort of stuff, but it is standing up and leaning against the wall. The skeleton in the center appears to have some sort of cloak wrapped around it, and you can pretty much only see the skull of the skeleton as it sits on the ground, mostly obscured by this cloak. You can also tell that the skeleton in the center, you can see it shake every once in a while.
It's full of mice.
It's full of mice. Oh, I would really like that if that was actually what was going on. Oh, man.
I would like to light the lantern that I picked up in the last place.
You do have a lantern. Oh, that's delightful. Okay. You light that up, and suddenly can see much better in here. So I'll give you a few more bits of info. Just keeping that 15 roll from before, but now that you can see better.
Now that I can see, what's up?
You looking around the room now, you notice that there is a large crack, kind of fissure going across the ground, that seems to be going sort of from left to right, and you are on one side of it, and then most of the room is on the other side of it, with the exception of the skeleton that is collapsed. The crack in the ground is also going very close, almost underneath the skeleton wearing the cloak. And the skeleton wearing the cloak is surrounded by a circle with a faint glow and some faint symbols that are flickering lightly.
There's some magic shit going on here.
So, and I will once again remind you, the gate across from you, or the door across from you, is glowing slightly, but the two doors on either side are not.
Are the two doors on the other side of the crack, or are they on the side of the crack that I'm on?
So, looking at this, most of the room, including the doorways, are on the other side of the crack. Pretty much the only thing that's on your side of the crack in the ground, the fissure in the ground,
is just the one
collapsed skeleton. Yeah.
Okay. Oh man, my dude didn't make it in time. Didn't make it to the other side of the line.
And I should say that this little fissure is like maybe a couple of inches, and it's very like just like a.
You just step over it.
Yeah, it's not very
Except, I don't trust it. There's some magic shit going on. Man, now I'm kind of like, I wish it were just mice. I know it's not.
So with that, as you were looking around the room, and so is Deirdre, you've just lit the lamp. And
Elberta?
Elberta. What? Oh, gosh. Oh, thank you for keeping me honest. The skeleton that was leaning against the wall.
There's two Deirdres now.
There's two Deirdres now. The skeleton's name is Deirdre. No, the skeleton that was leaning against the wall turns to look towards the lamp and raises a shield in its left hand and a sword in its right, and it starts walking towards you.
Well, I'd like to turn undead.
Ooh. Okay. Tell me what this does.
Each undead that can see or hear you makes a wisdom saving throw. If they fail, their turn for 1 minute or takes damage. I think like if they try to keep coming at me, they take damage. I made these notes a long time ago.
That is okay.
They can't move within 30 feet of me, and they must make a dash or a dodge to move as far away as possible. If their CR is 1/2 or lower, they are destroyed if they fail their saving throw, because my turn undead also does destroy undead because I'm level 5.
Nice. Okay. So this is what I'm gonna say. So I'm gonna roll for both of those guys. For both of the ones that are like constituted. 1 second.
Well, because one of them's just definitely dead.
Yeah. So what do I have to beat?
Oh shoot! What's my spell save DC is 14.
Okay. Oh yes. Okay. So the one that's walking towards you, as you hold up whatever your holy symbol is and activate this this glow sort of erupts from you. The one that's walking towards you shudders for a moment as that glow passes over them, and they kind of look around. They look kind of maybe confused might be the word to use, but then they continue forward. The one that's in the center that was wrapped in the cloak, however, when they get hit by this wave, they sort of stand up a little bit and look shaken and stumble backwards out of the circle that they're in. And when they step out of that circle, you see a flash, and there's a wave a second wave of energy that pulses out, and a light above the door that's across from you, above the glowing doorway, blinks out, and then that skeleton wearing the cloak turns away from you, turn undead, and tries to stumble out through that gateway. As they do, they collapse into a pile of bones.
Oh no.
And are in pieces on the other side of the doorway now. But that first one is still heading your way. And it is going to, unless you have something else you can do in this turn, it is going to try to attack at you.
No, I think that's just an action that I can take.
So it is going to run towards you. And as it runs towards you, bringing up its sword, it steps over that fissure in the ground, and its leg collapses out from underneath it, and then it falls forward into a pile of unattached bones.
Yep.
And it just is collapsed down in front of you.
Deirdre kind of like grabs her mace and like pokes it.
I don't know. Did you do that?
No.
Okay. That was weird. I don't know what to say other than that. It was very strange. All right. Okay. And she like nods. So yeah.
Could I take one of these bones and throw it back over the fissure and see what happens.
Sure. Are you just taking like a single bone?
The skull.
Okay. You pick up the skull and you throw it back across the little fissure. Maybe you just kind of like pick it up and just kind of nudge it with your mace. Yeah. Like roll it over.
Just like go back over there.
And it hits the fissure and it just sort of like gets stuck for a moment and you're kind of like push it up. And you get it over and it falls over the lip and you see the jaw starts like wiggling just for a moment and then it starts moving like kind of wildly and then it stops and the jawbone disconnects from the rest of the skull and it just lies there.
I don't know what this would do to a living being. Do I have anything for this? No. I'm like, do I have anything like a dispel magic or... No. You
could roll an Arcana check.
I could definitely... I was like... Deirdre knows better to just shrug and walk over the line. Me, as a player, just kind of wants to shrug and walk over the line, but Deirdre knows better. That's... Where'd my sheet go? There it is. That'll be a 14 for Arcana.
I would say that with that, you can kind of get an idea. So you are looking around the room, and you know that there's some sort of like dark magic. You can tell because there's some sort of necromancy going on. But you also notice that the skeleton that was on your side of the fissure was collapsed. And you know that as soon as one passed over, it collapsed. So it appears that like whatever sort of probably whatever's going on affects undead things and affects them on the other side. So you're even it's probably okay. I don't know. I can't assuage your fears too much. I'm realizing.
And I still don't see any mice.
Looking around, you do actually see like a little skeleton of a mouse running around in a corner of the room. And it's just sort of like sitting up on a skeleton of a mouse, and it's kind of like raised up, and it's like looking around at the over towards you, and then it gets down on its feet and it runs through the doorway on the right of the place.
On the right?
On the right. So there was a glowing door to your in front of you.
Yeah.
Door to your right, door to your left. And the door you came through, of course.
I'm gonna follow that mouse. Let's go.
Okay.
The carving had little mice. Mice are important to whoever did the carving. Mice are important.
That's fair. That is a fair rationalization. You step across the fissure. Nothing seems to happen, and you walk into a room. And in this room, you see it opens up into this wide open space, with a long sort of runway, I guess you would say, in the middle of it, leading towards the middle of the room, with a large pit surrounding this runway. And the bottom of the pit you cannot see in the darkness. But at the end of this runway, you see a simple chest of some sort that is glowing, and there is a little skeleton of a mouse sitting on it.
And I can't see down this pit.
You cannot see down this pit.
All right, I'd like to have my shield and my mace at the ready and like inch closer to the pit, try to see if I can like peer over.
Nice. You look over and you hold up your lantern And as you sort of brush away the webs of the darkness, you can see just a maybe 20-foot pit below you with some spikes and just hard stone at the bottom of it.
Is the pit like uniform all the way around, or are there bits that look like they're like how?
It's very uniform. Imagine like you are entering a large circular room. Imagine that the circular room is like 20 feet down below the doorway, and people just like haphazardly put spikes along the bottom. But then there's like a little runway that leads from the doorway to the center of the room, and there's a little thing sitting on it in the middle. Mouse hops down off of the thing, and it starts climbing down into the pit, getting away from you.
Bye. Could I roll like an investigation to see if like there are traps? Like something ready to push me off this runway if I walk down it?
I think what would do you better in this instance is perception.
Okay.
But okay.
I just don't want to like walk across this and it's like, and you get hit by a sandbag and you fall into the spike pit. Well, that'll be a 14.
Okay. With that, holding up your lantern and looking around the walls of this room that are far away from you, you can see that there doesn't appear to be any sort of like opening or any sort of shadow that you cannot see into the depths of. There's no place that any sort of swing trap might be. So as assuming there's no sort of like magical trap going on and no sort of like, yeah, assuming there's no sort of magical trap, you're okay.
I kind of like just glare around the room like, if I die in here, at least I saw it coming. And start walking towards the chest.
Gotcha. You get to the chest with no repercussions. Nothing happens to you along the way. And when you get there, you see that it's a small chest, maybe the size of in our world. In our world, you and me, ours,
yeah,
like the size of a shoebox, kind of like that big. It's pretty little, and it's sitting on a small platform, and it's not attached to the platform or anything like that, but it's covered with these glowing lines, vaguely reminiscent of vines once again. And in the center of those vines is a small symbol, maybe the size of a coin. And the symbol is an impression of that same boar crest that you saw when you walked in the building.
So the medallion I took off the dude, is that the same size?
That is indeed the same size.
Can I push them together?
Yeah, you push them together, and there is a small flash, and the glowing vines slowly turn off. The glow slowly dissipates, and then the box pops open. And you see inside a large key.
Just like the Zeldas.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take the key.
Yes. And I'll note that the box was glowing blue. That circle that the person was sitting on earlier was glowing green. So just a note. So I assume you turn around and go back to the room?
I take the key and I walk out, still kind of glaring around the room like, if you kill me on the return trip, at least I saw it coming.
Cool. As you walk out, you see the little skeletal mouse scuttle out into the room before you get to that doorway, and you find yourself back in that room with the two collapsed skeletons. On the other side of the room from you. Deirdre is sort of squatting down. Sorry, every time. Elberta is squatting down, looking at the circle that the cloaked skeleton had been sitting on, examining it. And you have that one room that was to your left originally that's still unexplored, and you have the glowing doorway, which, it's right there. So you can do whatever you want at this point.
I'll go over to Elberta. Have you seen anything of this like before?
And you hand her the key?
No, I'm talking about the circle.
Oh, the circle.
Yeah, she's examining it, right?
Yeah. I don't know. It's strange. It appears to be some sort of seal, some sort of ward, some sort of trigger. I don't know, but I have a vague memory. I feel like I passed through here a long time ago, but I can't say that I've ever seen this anywhere else. I don't know.
I'm gonna go investigate the other door.
Okay.
Actually, what's the mouse doing? You said it came back into this room. Is it just like chilling?
The mouse is sort of crawling through the collapsed skeleton of the one that had tried to attack you.
That's fair. Wait.
Yeah.
So it's on the other side of the fissure?
Oh, wait, no. Okay, it's not there. Never mind. Take that back. Retcon.
So it's hanging around with the skeleton that tried to run.
Yes, it's hanging around with that skeleton, with the leftovers of that skeleton that did not make it through the doorway. It's standing over there next to this doorway, which is casting a pale blue light and a pale red light, and yeah. That's what's going on over there with that mouse.
It's got pale blue and pale red?
Yeah, so you walk over to the glowing doorway, and you see that in addition to there being sort of a glowing film covering the space of the door that appears to just sort of be like warbling in the air, you also have two glowing symbols on the right side and the left side of the door. The one on the left is red, the one on the right is blue, and there's also a symbol on the top that is not glowing, but you're pretty sure it was glowing when you walked in the place.
It was glowing and then the skeleton collapsed. I would like to investigate the skeleton.
The skeleton. Looking at the skeleton, you sort of like push around its bones and stuff. You see that the cloak that it's wearing appears to be sort of like woven like leaves and vines and stuff. Underneath that, it appears to be wearing just a light linen shirt, and it's not holding any weapons. It's not holding. It's not wearing a pendant like the guard from the outset. It's just kind of like hanging out there, dead, as skeletons are wont to do. Yeah.
All right. Checking out the other door, the one that was originally on the left.
Excellent. So you step your way into the final room. Do you bring Elberta with you, or do you just leave her on the outside?
No, she's still looking at the thing.
Yeah, she's still looking at the thing. She can keep looking at the thing, I suppose.
Yeah, I'm not going to interrupt her.
So you step forward in through this through the door on the left, and you see a large depression in the ground. Not a drop like in the room on the right, but just a slightly sloping depression. And as you step forward with your lamp, you can see in the darkness three forms. One, let's reorient ourselves. All right, so that we are taking.
We're in the doorway.
We are in the doorway,
looking into the room.
Yes, and the doorway you're entering from is behind you.
Yes.
Right? There is on the edges of this large depression in the ground, there is a small set of statues on the right, on the left, and on the front.
Can I see anything about these statues? Or
yeah.
I do have dark vision and a lantern.
Yes, you can see super well. So stepping forward, you see the one that's directly in front of you. You see that it has the form of a frog and a tadpole and a froglet, just kind of like sitting there. They're fairly large, maybe like a foot across each. And then when you walk over to the one on the right, and on the right you see a small nest. You see a chick, and you see a robin. And then on the left, you see a caterpillar. You see a cocoon attached to a leaf, and you see a butterfly.
And they're all in like order?
They're kind of hanging out in different orders. And I should note that at the bottom of each of these sets, there is a small symbol of a hand.
Like if I pick it up and turn it upside down, there's a hand? Or like
No, sorry. These statues are like built into the wall on the edge of this depression.
Okay.
And the symbol of the hand is sort of like built into the wall.
Okay.
Yeah. Also, there's some slight light around the room. There's like a soft glow.
What color is the light?
It's a slight red glow.
So the symbol of a hand, is it like a normal hand size, or is it
pretty normal? You're as a half orc, your hand might be a little bit bigger, but not tremendously.
Can I go grab the skeleton's hand?
Sure. Okay. Yeah. Which one do you grab?
Let's go with both of them.
Okay. You walk into that into the main room, and Deirdre, every time Elberta looks over at you and says, "Oh, what are you doing over there?" And you like reach down and like pull up a hand of one of the skeletons, and she's like, "Never mind, I don't want to know." and you carry them back into that room.
I feel like order is important here.
That's very possible.
So I don't want to like just shove a skeleton hand in there all willy-nilly.
I will say that I wouldn't set up a puzzle where if you got it wrong the first time, you'd be screwed.
That's good to know. So they've all got the same color glow.
Yes, they're all red.
And you said that they were kind of like presented in random orders?
Yes. The among themselves, they're presented in random orders. So like the butterfly, caterpillar, and cocoon are all together, but they're just sort of like in a. They're just kind of hanging together. They're not like in a particular order. It's not like caterpillar, cocoon, butterfly, tadpole, froglet, frog, nest, fledgling, bird. They're just kind of grouped. All in like a beautiful miasma of life.
All right.
A diorama, sort of.
A diorama, if you will.
Yes. The
Is that mouse still outside, or did it follow me in here?
mouse followed you in. It didn't follow you the first time, but when you grabbed one of the hands, it followed you in.
It's like, hey, what are you doing?
What's going on? This is the most interesting thing I've seen forever.
I trust this mouse. I don't know why, but I trust this mouse.
Excellent.
I kind of turn to the mouse and I'm like, friend mouse, do you know how this one works?
It walks up.
And I gesture with the skeleton hand.
It sort of follows its eyes. Well, its skull, I suppose, are following the hand as you hold it up, and as you gesture towards the statue, it skitters over towards where you're gesturing. But that's all it does.
And there's nothing about these statues that are like not like different, but like discerning from each other than the creatures that they are.
Yes, that is correct. As far as you can tell at this point, there is nothing significantly different from each of them.
All right, let's just start on the left. Slap a skeleton hand in there.
So you place a skeleton hand onto this thing, and as you do so, it's the butterfly symbol, and as you do so, the wings of the butterfly statue start to flutter, and water pours in from through the joints, and collects into a small pool in the recessed floor that you are in. At the same time, the door to this room shuts closed, and you can also see water pouring in from the mouth of the froglet and pooling up from the nest.
All right. If I let go of the skeleton hand, does it fall or does it stay?
You let go, and nothing happens. And I should say, the water goes in and then like stops. So it's just at a small pool around your ankles.
No, I mean like I'm holding the skeleton hand up. If I like let go of the skeleton hand, does it fall?
Yeah,
or does it like stay stuck in the thing?
I see where you were thinking with that. That's an interesting thought. That would have been fun for me to build into this, but I think it would have made it a touch too complicated.
Just like they all have to be touched at the same time. Skeleton hand sticks.
Yeah.
Oh no, my hand is stuck. I should have put the skeletons first. So they're all leaking water now?
They all briefly leaked water for maybe like 20 seconds, and then they each stopped.
All right, let's go over to the bird next.
Okay. Do you place the skeleton hand on there?
Skeleton hand, yeah.
You place the skeleton hand on there?
I'm not putting my hand in there.
And the hand symbol starts glowing. And just sort of just is glowing. This is glowing. And
just glowing?
Nothing else happens.
All right, let's try the frog.
Okay. You walk over to the frog, and you once again place your hand on there, and it once again starts glowing a soft red, and nothing else happens.
All right, let's do the butterfly again.
Okay, so hey listener, I made this a very complicated puzzle. And you place your hand on the hand underneath the bird butterfly, and it starts glowing. And the water drains, and the door raises up, and there is a small flash that you can see from the main room. And hey, listener, hey, if you had not done this correctly the first time, it would have been probably pretty complicated to figure out how it's supposed to work. But dang it, because you started with. I think that because you started with the butterfly and then you went to the bird next, it all just sort of like fell in place by happenstance, which I'm very annoyed by.
Well, see, my reasoning was there's water, so let's get the things that aren't amphibious out of the way first. So I skipped the frog.
Oh, geez. Yeah, okay, I get that. Okay, do you want to know how that was actually, how the puzzle actually worked?
I would, yes.
Okay, so how the puzzle worked is once you activated it by just putting your hand on one of them. Then they all, each of the sets of statues pours a little bit of water, and then it stops. If you looked around the room when the water was pouring, you would see each one of the sets represented a 3-stage life cycle.
Yeah.
And they were each, how do I describe this? For the butterfly set, if the caterpillar was the thing that shot out water, you would want to activate the butterfly set first. If the cocoon was the thing that shot out water, you'd want to activate the butterfly set second. And if the butterfly was the thing that shot out water, then you'd want to activate the butterfly set last. And same with the other ones.
That's a pretty cool puzzle. I'm sorry, I guessed it right on the first try.
It's a pretty cool puzzle. But the first row that I had was I wrote out like a little table of like, how I'd have it go each time you activated it. The first row was butterfly, froglet, nest, which meant that you activate the puzzle and then you press the bird set, the frog set, the butterfly set. And that just happened to be the order you did. So yeah. And if you had gotten it wrong, then all the lights would have gone off and the water would have like filled up a little bit and it would have shuffled which one you were supposed to do first.
That's a really cool puzzle. I'm sorry I ruined it.
Oh, well. So yeah, that was the puzzle. So the door opens and you step out. And on the other side of the door, you see Elberta looking kind of worried, but relieved as she sees your ankles dripping water. But otherwise, you are unharmed. The mouse skittering around at your feet happily, and yeah. Looking towards the door, you see that the red symbol is no longer active. And there's just the blue symbol left.
Can I just bring the key over to the blue symbol and touch it?
Yeah, you walk the little blue key over, and you notice a small keyhole set into the stone. You place in the key and turn it, and as you do so, there's a bright flash coming from the glowing blue symbol, which then dissipates. And the gateway, the shimmering field covering it, the one that had stopped the skeleton dead in its tracks, dissipates ahead of you, and you're greeted by a bitter blast of cold air. Elberta grasps your shoulder as her breath catches, and then she steps forward. She walks through the gateway and walks down a set of stairs, walks through an arc covered in vines with little mice peeking out, a symbol of a boar at the top of the arc. the keystone position.
I say goodbye to the mouse.
And you follow after her. You say goodbye to the little skeleton mouse. Little skeleton mouse actually skitters after you. Steps up onto your boot and climbs up your little pant leg and crawls up to your shoulder.
I love it.
You love it. And as you look around, you feel snow whipping through the air, a sight that you are not super familiar with. Snow is not a very common thing in the land that you've grown up in. But ahead of you, you see tall snowdrifts in a valley that reaches out to massive mountains ahead of you, topped with eternal blizzards and lightning. At that, Elberta turns towards you and says, "Thank you for taking me to my home. Thank you for bringing me back to Bregaton." And we're gonna stop there. So, where we have that's pretty much the end of Deirdre's little side quest here, her little escort quest to get Elberta back to her home place. What does this mean?
And I leave her in the snow.
And you leave her in the snow. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. I'm gonna get on my little donkey and head on home. Yeah, so what does this mean for the larger world of Side Character Quest? What is this Kingdom of Bregaton? Why though? Why though? Who knows? We it's hard to tell because this has been a side quest following a side character. So who knows how it affects the main story? I don't know. You definitely know. Do you know Jeff? I don't know Jeff. But yeah. So tune in next time and find out more. Do you have any closing thoughts about what you think that Deirdre would do at this point?
As soon as Elberta dismisses her, and like, you did it, she goes back through the room, goes back, gets her mule, and probably takes Elberta's horse also. And goes back to the church.
Nice. And see, that's the thing. That's a sort of lack of character development that you expect from side characters, not from main characters. So it's perfectly acceptable in this situation.
But now she has an adorable mouse that she is definitely not ever going to let Father see. Are you kidding me? Undead mouse?
Wait,
in
actually,
the church?
Wait, that's a good point.
Did it dissolve?
It holds back when it sees the fissure and does not cross over.
Oh. This is heartbreaking.
You know it'll be waiting for you.
For me as a person, this is heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Deirdre briefly, very, very incredibly briefly, and then she feels extremely guilty for it the whole ride home. Considers staying here
just to be with the mouse.
Just to be with this mouse.
Did you name the mouse? And
also, what was my horse's name? Veritas?
Yes. Oh, that was such a good name. Yes, it was that.
The horse is Aquitas.
Wait, the mouse is Aquitas? Or the horse is Aquitas?
Shit. Yes, the mouse is Aquitas.
Aquitas. That is a very good name as well. Oh man. Yep. So yeah. I think this has been pretty fun time. Thank you for joining me, Eliane. Do you want to plug any of your other work?
Check out my comics podcast.
Yeah.
It's called Capes and Japes.
Capes and Japes.
We just have a fun time talking about comics.
I mean, it sounds like a pretty fun time. We were talking before the show about you guys talking about like Hellboy and stuff on the most recent episode. Sounds like a good time to me.
Well, most recent as of recording. I don't know what we're going to be talking about when this releases.
Yep. How often do you guys like? Do you guys record and then release within like a week or so? Do you have a backlog?
Buddy, I record and release. I record on Monday, release on Tuesday. It is.
Oh man. Jeez, yeah, I am not that life. I am not living that life.
Now, see, we could do backlog, except then we do at the end of our episodes, like, what did you read this week? So it gets a little bit more iffy with like what comics had come out.
Yeah. Oh, speaking of that, do you have any comic recommendation for our listeners?
Well, first off, if you're not reading Super Sons, you should read Super Sons.
Okay, I am not reading Super Sons, so I should read that.
It's got Superboy, Jonathan Kent, who is the son of an alternate universe Clark Kent and Lois Lane, and also Damian Wayne. Did I say Clark Kent and Lois Wayne?
I think you might have.
Shoot. Lois Lane.
Mm-hmm. Deirdre Lane.
And Damian Wayne, who is the biological son of Batman and who is also Robin. And it's about them becoming friends. And it's an excellent fun comic. Please read Super Sons. Like we say on my podcast all the time, please read Super Sons.
All right, listeners, you know what your job is. All right, guys. Well, this has been super fun, and man, that rhymed very closely to Super Son.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that, and I was like, should I mention something?
No.
Nah.
Don't worry, I can get myself off track. I don't need your help doing that. All right. Well, this has been fun. See you guys next fortnight. This has been Ty and
Eliane. Thank you for having me, Ty.
Hey, thank you for joining me. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
We are definitely waving into the air.
Oh, okay. Of course.
But of course. Thanks to the Joy Drops for the use of Not Drunk as our intro and outro music. Find them at thejordrops.com. You can find us at sidecharacterquest.com, at SCQ Podcast on Twitter, or by email at sidecharacterquest@gmail.com.
You might have already heard of Wonder Woman, but did you know that there were several people who went by Wonder Girl?
You've heard of Spider-Man, but did you know there's more than just Peter Parker? Well, here at Capes and Japes, we can fill you in on all that stuff that you maybe didn't know. My name's Olivia.
And I'm Eliane, and you can catch us every Tuesday wherever you listen to podcasts.
We'll see you there.
There'll be like a little music playing and then bloopers.
Feel free to send me the raw file as well. And I've
just been sending you without anything.
Sweet.
I'm just saying, the last time I personally recorded, I recorded on Thursday for my podcast.
For your podcast.
For my podcast. I'm talking about comic books.
Comic book stuff. Delightful.
It's Hellboy, or as we started lovingly calling him, Hecklad.
I foresaw the heck part. I did not foresee the lad part. I really enjoy that.
And he grows up into Heck Oldman.
That's pretty good. I'm pleased with this. I've always wanted to read Hellboy. It always seemed I enjoyed the movie when it came out, the first movie when it came out, and it felt like the type of comic that I could have gotten into, but I just never did.
That's literally something that I said during this episode.
But yeah, so you ready to dive on in?
I thought for a second you were going to be like, are you ready to die? And I'm like, oh, only always. Let's go.
No, I will say I don't anticipate you dying in this game.
Watch me. I'm just one bad roll away from it at any time.
If you have a promo for it, send it my way and I'll air it after the show.
We don't.
Awesome. Hey, all right. So it's gonna go something like this: Capes and Japes, we're having a good time talking about comics. Yeah. I'll air that after the show.
Thank you. I
you can use it for
appreciate
other
it.
stuff if you want. Mm-hmm,
Thank you.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's lovely. It really encapsulates our show.
Mm-hmm.